First of all, I want to start this off again, like we usually do, thanking the media for your help, your assistance in whatever we have going on. You always there, so we really appreciate it. Also want to thank Attorney Bamberg that's um, we've been in contact constantly doing this um, investigation in this case. He's the attorney for the family. He's here. And also the family, some of the family members are here with us also um, today. So I want to thank them and again thank the family for your patience um, while this case was being investigated. I would say also, and you may get tired of hearing this, that this is still an ongoing investigation. But what I would say today is that, similar cases has happened around the country recently, and the outcome is not that happy, not a happy ending. Today, I've got my Christmas present early, just to say that this has been this has been a hell of a ride. Because you've been on this ride with us. At about 12:40 this afternoon, first of all, little Aspen was safe. She's safe in the arms right now of some people in Virginia. Mr. Jeter has been taken into custody in Virginia without incident in Danville, Virginia. He was taken into custody by authorities there. What I will tell you is a little bit about what happened. It was some transactions that we were following up since this case started. And on yesterday, some transactions was made in Danville, Virginia at 2 locations. That information from the transactions, it's like 8 to 12 hours delay. We got that information today, and we at the Danville Police Department and U.S. Marshals Task Force in that area, and they started checking the area. They spotted the same vehicle that we was driving here, the Mazda 2015 blue, in a hospital parking lot. They approached, and again, I say they took him, Mr. Jeter, into custody at that time. And again, Aspen is fine and she's okay. Thank God for that. I want to thank the U.S. Marshals, the FBI, the Danville PD, authorities in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Raleigh, North Carolina. Telling y'all that this was an ongoing case, and it still is ongoing investigation. So there's some things that we still can't release at this time or won't release at this time. But one of the main things, and I should have done this earlier, is that this pretty girl is back safe. She's safe. I have a team at this time right now en route to Danville, Virginia, to put eyes on her with the other authorities that are there, and also to continue the investigation with Mr. Jeter. Also, what I want to announce, that we had warrants on Mr. Jeter for stealing the grand larceny of the vehicle. And some of you might not believe this, but actually doing this ongoing investigation, just this morning, we obtained a warrant for Mr. Jeter's arrest for murder. So again, your assistance and your patience with us, and this is the outcome. I'll let Mr. Bamberg talk from here.
Thank you, Sheriff Ravenel. On behalf of the family, first, Sheriff Chief Kinsey, I want to thank you for your leadership, your dedication, your hard work. You, all your deputies, your investigators. I know the time and energy and effort that y'all have put into this since day one, and we can't thank you enough. And this community is very fortunate to have you on the job. and thank you for that. To the other authorities who are involved, we thank you. We appreciate you. Aspen can't talk for herself, but the outcome here today speaks volumes of good things that are possible when the press, the public, to everybody who took the time out of all the things in life to share a picture of Aspen, to share her story, who were on the lookout for that blue Mazda, or who were just in their day-to-day lives trying to pay attention to see if they spotted her. We thank you for that. I believe the last week, we've seen at least 2 of these incidents nationwide that turned out horribly tragic, ending in the death of not just a child, but the other parent. To not only work this and find an innocent 5-year-old alive and to be bringing her back, but to at the same time have been working the murder case of Mr. Paula's sister. It's a joyous moment, but it's a sad moment as well. And this is actually, I guess, the end of one chapter, but the beginning of another. And that's going to be a process. But today is a happy day, and on behalf of the family, Sheriff, again, thank you, you and your team, and thank you to the press. For the press conference we did, I believe just Monday, the responsible journalism and reporting to get the word out in hopes that we could try to prevent a second tragedy. We thank you, and to the public and everybody who prayed. Thank you so much, because the prayers here were definitely answered.
Okay, yeah. Also, we want to take this time to thank local agencies that assisted in this. The state agency also SLED, the Lexington County Sheriff's Office. There's been other agencies that we'll have Richard release that later that assisted in this. So we want to thank every agency that had a hand in this. Again, I thank the media for your help getting this out. We'll try to take a few questions if any.
I have a lot of questions. Amber is charged with the murder of Crystal?
Right.
Right, okay.
Right.
Did you guys get a tip for where he was? Or I saw that, or that you guys said transactions.
Right. There were some transactions that were made, which we were looking for early on in this investigation that apparently he didn't make. Some transactions that were made on yesterday in Dansville around 6:30. And like I said, the delay, for some reason, the system is like an 8 to 12 hour. We got that information today, right before 12, and at 12:40, we were able to, they were able to take him in custody.
So what happens to Aspen now? Where will she go?
She is,
So, yes, I'm sorry. Obviously it's a very complicated situation when the mother is deceased and the father is charged with murdering the mother. But Crystal's family and, as Aspen was being raised, members of Mr. Jeter's family also helped take care of Aspen. And the goal here is to, let's get her back to South Carolina. At 5 years old and with her neurological disabilities, she probably doesn't really comprehend what's going on. But ideally, takes a village to raise a child. The above all else is to make sure that Aspen will not, okay, I'm not going to say we're going to try. Aspen will not become a ward of the state. we're going to make sure that she's with family, and we will actually be trying to get with certain members of Mr. Jeter's family so that we can collectively figure out how can both families make sure that Aspen is raised, well taken care of, and fully supported, because that is what Crystal would have wanted. And again, by all accounts, Mr. Jeter was never a terrible father or anything like that. He's charged with doing something absolutely horrendous. But I think between the families and this community here, Aspen is going to be just fine.
Where Mr. Jeter was found?
He was in city of Dansville, Virginia, and the parking lot of hospital there. And again, what I'll say, I know it might be a question that comes up, you know, how did we just obtaining a warrant today for murder? There was a very important piece in the timeline that we had to put together. So today, this morning, and I guess it's with God, it's just we obtained a warrant this morning because we got a timeline down, but the investigation is still ongoing.
What was that piece of evidence that tipped you guys off to get that warrant?
I won't go into that.
Gotcha.
Yes, ma'am.
How long has Crystal been dead? When did she die? Do you all know?
I'm not sure the exact day. I know it's been sometime before Thanksgiving.
Has Antar Jeter made any comment as to his charge?
No, he hasn't. I think he made some statements up there, but I can't, not to the charge. He made some statements he got out of the vehicle when they took him into custody, but I can't speak to that at this point. My thing was that Aspen was okay, and I kind of left it at that.
I know it's very early in the investigation, but is there any motive as to why he did this and why he took Aspen?
No, I can't speak to that, no, ma'am.
So, do you expect other people to be arrested in this?
The investigation is ongoing, so it's possible, and I can't say no, and I don't want to say that, you know, there's somebody, but as the investigation leads, and if someone else was at some part, somewhere down the line, had some information, possibly,
And why was he in the hospital parking lot?
I'm not sure.
Thank y'all for coming out. That's it. Appreciate it. Is anybody here not on the mailing list? Got a card?
Two breaking news headlines coming out of that press conference this afternoon. The good news, 5-year-old Aspen Jeter found alive, and according to Orangeburg County Sheriff Leroy Ravenel, doing very well. The breaking news, the second breaking news headline in this situation, her father, Antar Jeter, now charged with murder and the death of her mother. Her mother found dead on Thanksgiving Day after a family member requested a well check at her home in Orangeburg County. Aspen has been missing for more than a month now. It became a local search that turned into a nationwide search, again, after her mother, 46-year-old Crystal Jumper, was found dead in her home. The first warrant for an arrest was put out for Aspen's father, Antar Jeter, in relation to the vehicle that he was driving, because it did belong to Crystal Jumper. But now, according to Sheriff Ravenel, a critical and key piece of information in the investigation was found today that led them to charging Antar Jeter with murder in Crystal Jumper's death.